Welcome to the Google Cloud Summit. Our discussion topic today is around stronger connections and faster growth. I'm always excited to have our Deloitte global leaders in the space of data and analytics together and share perspectives on the trends and how data and analytics is shaping stronger connections, faster growth for our businesses and our clients. My name is Naveen Varelkar, and I'm joined today by Sulabh Soral from London and Sajid Khan from Dallas. I'm excited to have both these leaders with me for this discussion today. Historically, collected data remained at one place. It originated in transactional systems, then it made its way into a data warehouse or marts, and from there it was used for analysis and reporting capabilities. Today, data is in motion. And what I mean by that is data originates today from sensors on a moving vehicle, or it could be implants or devices on human bodies, or it could very much be the personal devices that you use. And this data then gets aggregated and moved to the cloud into a data lake. And from there, there's insight to action on that data that drives specific business decisions for our clients. Sometimes the actions are taken on the edge, other times in the cloud. And in some cases, actions and decisions need to be made on the device or the sensor itself. There are multiple contributing factors to data in motion and several different situations that arise that require different architectures, applications, and management techniques. Cloud and data together provides a speed to value that is critical to realize the value of data and analytics for our clients. Today, we will discuss three industries and how AI and data is shaping these industries and the future of business. Let's start with Sulabh. Sulabh, as you think about the financial services industry, specifically insurance in EMEA, any perspectives that you'd like to share with us around what's driving the transformation and how data and analytics is enabling it?
Thanks, Naveen, for having me here. Financial services industry has been on the road to transformation using the cloud for some time. But more recently, because of the pandemic, this industry has seen acceleration, typically because of digitization. The financial services industry has been an information-centric industry, and that has been the primary reason where cloud really comes to play. Some examples from the financial services industry, specifically insurance, are digitalizing all of their processes, whether be it like internal processes to automate underwriting, or be it processes to digitize their front ends so that they interact with customers better. And that's where the cloud is really playing a central role. A case in point is what's happening in our London markets and also in brighter EMEA is how do you pick up information that's coming from customers and brokers? How do you automate all of those documents that customers and brokers send for the kind of risks or assets, for example, property that they want to insure? And how do you automate the whole process of ingesting this data and making sense of it so that you can have automated underwriting? Now, let's remember for years and years, this process has been a very manual process. And it's at the heart of how actually insurers really work with their customers. Now, this is all digitizing. What we have seen is the role of cloud providers in this is central. Specifically, like if you look at Google Cloud, where this is coming from, when you look at Google Cloud is two things really. One is the widespread ecosystem that Google Cloud has, with which you can sort of integrate rather quickly to do better automation and machine learning. Plus also the optimized nature of data pipelines and tools that you have in Google Cloud, data proc, warehouses such as BigQuery, data flow, to name a few.
A follow-up on that one, Sulabh, can you talk a bit about how document AI from a process automation standpoint, as well as BigQuery, is driving quite a bit of transformation in the insurance sector?
I think the most important thing to talk about here is the wrapping up of machine learning, specifically natural language processing technology, and making it very accessible and easy for data scientists. And that's what Document AI does. It has a couple of services from Google which are wrapped into Document AI. And the transformative example really here is if you look at process of quotation within insurance, what brokers or customers of insurers do is they send a lot of documents on the risks or the assets that they want to insure. For example, it could be a fleet of cars, it could be lots of buildings, or it could be ships, whatever it is. When they want to insure their assets, they send a lot of documents to the insurers so that they can get a quote back. These documents are in any format. It could be a PDF, it could be large reports, it could be photographs, it could be CSV files, Excel, lots of unstructured data. So typically what happens is when this information comes to the insurers, they actually use manual processes to go through all of this document and then do data entry, because this like I said, the documents are quite unstructured. And where Doc AI plays a role is it can, because of its machine learning, specifically natural language processing and document ingestion capabilities, what you could do with Doc AI is automate the process of ingesting this data and transforming it into structured information, because you can extract the features out of the report, specifically the information that insurers require for pricing, underwriting. So you could extract that information. So that's where Doc AI plays a role. It's a very good data warehousing solution, specifically in my view, because of the handling of sequential and time series data. So that's where you would go and store information. That's the solution that you will use downstream as a data warehousing solution in this kind of pipeline. So that's how those two things to come together.
That's a great way of articulating, how the insurance sector is driving in terms of connected experiences and operations. And Sajid, coming to you, I know you spend a lot of time in the retail sector. Can you talk a bit about, the data cloud capabilities from Google and how, Deloitte and Google are partnering to change or influence these connected experiences and operations for retail industry?
In case of retail, COVID changed that business will be a giant understatement. How retailers operate before COVID and how they're operating now is something that is day and night different. And a lot of that change is driven by consumer preferences on how they want to be served, how they want to interact with retailers in a day-to-day basis. Either they are buying groceries, or they are buying clothes, or they are buying large electricals. That whole experience, the demand from the consumer has shifted significantly. They need contactless delivery. They need omni-channel experiences, where if they start from a digital or a physical channel, they need connectivity, they need consistent experience. And for that to happen, a consumer value chain needs to be established that is consistent across all these channels, where the data flows from top of the funnel, where the consumer just starts considering a brand, a retailer, to all the way them being served and then feedback being collected. And this value chain is being established on Google's cloud in partnership with Deloitte as we drive towards transformation of retail.
You mentioned the pandemic, right? And I think over the past year, the healthcare industry also has had a significant role to play. Can you talk a bit about, how defining the future of patient care and research, right, with Google is where we are heading in terms of, driving change and impacting lives?
The biggest impact of the pandemic is on the healthcare sector. And this is also where the consumer or the patient, in this case, demands a different experience as well. The need for telecare, the need for being able to have a longitudinal patient record that gives a consistent view of patient's healthcare history, and the ability to have consistent experience across different healthcare providers is what the patients are demanding right now, and which is going to be key in providing holistic care of the patient in the future. I'm working with a large clinical research and healthcare provider, and what we are building is a few things. One, we are building a longitudinal patient record for each of their patient by bringing their disparate data systems into Google's healthcare API, and then creating that FHIR record that allows their researchers as well as their providers, doctors, to be able to really know a consumer's history and be able to help them and provide them with a very specialized care. The second side of this is we're also building an AI platform on using Google's technology to actually advance the critical research in the area of neurology, in the area of cancer research, breast cancer, and so on, to bring the doctors and researchers from their on-prem systems to be able to leverage the power of Google Cloud through connected data that is existing in this new platform, and also the state-of-the-art AI ML capabilities that are enabled by default for them, so that they can come and they can bring their research onto this platform and accelerate the way they're going to solve these problems. We are extremely excited about this partnership with Google in the sector as well, and we have made significant amount of progress in the last year or so.
It's a fascinating time to be working in data and analytics, and great perspectives from both Sulabh, you and Sajid, right? In terms of how the world of data and analytics is creating stronger connections and enabling faster growth. As we wrap up, any final thoughts from both of you all? I think that would be great to share with our listeners.
When I look at basically the work that I've done, particularly with Google Cloud, and I'd like to reiterate, what data scientists need is ease of use. What they need is a connected ecosystem such that they could sort of they could really get down to the job they need to do. And I particularly like what Google Cloud has been doing in terms of the ease of use, as well as basically wrapping up a lot of these services in managed services. Again, I can keep on going on. One of the examples I sort of would like to mention here is which has completely changed data science. Really is Kubernetes. It has changed how machine learning is really deployed. So again, fully managed. The nature of machine learning and AI is well suited to these kind of platforms, and I think Google Cloud is doing a great job, and we look forward, especially in the EMEA, to keep working with Google Cloud.
One thing that we are going to see more and more is Google bringing its breadth of services across different businesses to solve some of the most compelling problems of our times. And we are also already seeing Google bringing cloud, bringing YouTube, bringing ads, bringing marketing platform together to create these holistic offerings that are going to give the consumer that they're demanding, the connected experiences and connected operations, to really reap the benefit of this transformation that is happening in the marketplace. I'm extremely excited about that, and I'm sure you are too.
That's great. I wanted to thank you both for your perspectives, and I would be remiss if I did not say stay safe and wishing the best of health to you and your families. Thank you.